Hey friends, when we last did this Minecraft thing, I was fighting off a house full of zombie pigmen because I had bad ideas. But we're going to leave that. We're going to stick a pin in that adventure because we're absolutely going back into the Nether at some point soon. But first, we're doing kind of a show and tell video because while I took the weekend off recording, it doesn't necessarily mean I stopped doing things. Let's see. From inside the house, let's go ahead and sleep so we can get some daytime. So that will more properly show off the extent of the nonsense that I did. So first of all, I moved my campfires so that I can walk up against them without getting burned. So that's a thing. I changed this up a bit. I added a door to get into here and glassed this in. Now I'm growing wheat and carrots mostly. I changed this up a bit as well. And this is part of a larger renovation, but like I will show you it in a second. At some point I probably want some kind of an exit out here. Just to make it easier so I can get to stuff. Because I have some shenanigans planned. This now exists. And I did a lot of terracing. This was a hill. This was a mountain. So you can get up to the tower off this side now. This goes down out on top of the place that we were just at. But yeah, I did a lot of terracing. I flattened this out. And now I have it as extra planting space, and I have my berries here. And I am not entirely certain which YouTuber I stole this idea from. Maybe Waddles? But this allows you to basically harvest your bushes without putting something on top, like a half stone. Allows you to harvest your bushes without getting pricked by them. So let's go out here. This is over a new room that we haven't been to. I built a wall all the way around so that this is now significantly more safe. No more chance of creepers dropping down from above or zombies dropping down from above. So my little U-shaped base is now safe-ish. And we'll go out on the upper wall. I want to expand the wall, but for right now, it serves its purpose. It just gives me a way to get up here and go out. I also created a little exit so that I can get down onto this spot. And this is mostly so that I could torch stuff up. But yeah, so like my base has grown significantly. I thought I was going to hop over the wall. So yeah, like this is the furthest point at my base, I think. And still you can overlook the village. Now there is something that at some point I'm going to investigate, but if you start heading in that direction, there's a plume of smoke, and I think you can kind of barely see it right there. So I don't know what that is. And at some point in a future video, we're going to explore it. But I have a feeling that this video is mostly just going to be show and tell. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, we're going to go back into the lower area, and we'll just go this way. Because I have never done something, and I am waiting for y'all before I do it. Okay, so I also added some additional chest space. So I've got a tool chest. I broke my first diamond pick, so I'll explain why I broke it. Okay, so let me store some stuff away. Okay, so up here when we were looking in the junk chest, you'll notice like I have a bunch of books now. And I did have a bunch of paper and I converted those into books. I'll talk about that more in the future. Okay, so I have a pretty empty inventory because I am curious. I have never fully harvested my food all at once, so let's do that together because I am curious just how much this now produces. So one of the future projects that I have is I want to set this so that I can flick one switch and it harvests the entire field. And then all I have to do is walk around and pick it up. There's going to be some constraints. I'm going to lose some available area. But I feel like that is worth the risk. I think I hear a skeleton. And I remember, like, right underneath where that's at is, like, a little cavern. So it makes sense that skeletons are rattling. This is taking longer than I expected. I thought, oh, hey, this is going to be cool. I'm going to wait until I'm on air and I'll harvest this entire field. And now you see why I need to have an auto system. Because it's a lot. It's an awful lot. And I'm hoping I have enough inventory space to actually hold all of it. But like one of my goals is going to be to switch this over to like a piston system to where, more specifically, a sticky piston switch system. So the idea being I flick a switch and it moves like an entire column of things all at once. Which should be good. Like that should allow me to basically quick harvest an entire row, because like as you're seeing, just the act of knocking stuff down is what takes forever when you've got a field this large. But we need one of the components out here because I'm out of it for the next part of this show and tell. So we're gonna stick through with this because now I'm just really curious what the total yield of an entire harvest is. Because I resisted this weekend harvesting this up. Because I thought it would be cool to see everything that's in the field all at once harvested. And this is the point at which you are probably trying to fast forward through it. But I'm almost there. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Okay, so this is what an empty field is going to look like. And I actually started playing on a multiplayer server this weekend. And I will probably at some point try and build something very similar to this. Okay, so that's almost a full inventory worth of stuff. Okay. So, obviously there's the terrace going up that connects to the area we were just at. But you're going to notice there's a brand new room that I'm calling the larder. In order to craft all of those books, I needed a source of cattle. And I would have built these on air, but they were frustrating as hell to build because not only did I have to try and lead a cow back into my larder, but I had to try and trick them into falling down in that hole. So in Minecraft, there's a thing called entity cramming, which I don't know the specifics. It's something like 48 of a thing. can be on a single square before the game starts killing off the oldest version of the thing that's on a square. So right now, if 48 is the correct number, and I don't have it off the top of my head, but basically, like, so just picture there's 48 cows in here. And in order to breed cows, you give them wheat. And now, as I start giving wheat to the cattle, and I keep clicking until I basically don't see hearts anymore. Okay, so what ended up happening is every time I spawned a new cow, it killed the cow. And then down here in a chest, it's collecting all the beef and leather. And I don't know what the timer is for this, but every so often you can come in here and click on this. And this one I just built, so I don't have the necessary numbers yet, but I'm getting close. So, yeah. Okay, so that's that. I also built another oven down here, and some item chests. And this allows me to be down here and work on these, and then click, and then work on them, and click, and then work on them. So let me dump my seeds. I'm pretty much done growing potatoes for eating. I have so many stacks of food that it's ridiculous, but there is a trader. Let me grab a couple of these stacks and see. Let me see where we are on daytime. There's a trader in the village that will give me emeralds. No, we just turned night. Okay, we'll deal with that in a bit. So the other project, I knew that I needed sticky pistons. And the problem is sticky pistons require slimes. And in all of my harvesting, I had not encountered any slimes. So this led me to look up, how do you get slimes to spawn? And in the overworld, the only way you get slimes is if you're in a swamp biome. And I've not encountered one of those anywhere near in my wanderings. So instead, I researched what it takes to get slimes to spawn in a cave system. So you have to be below 40. So if we turn on F3, you can see, not that you're going to be able to read it, but you can trust me that right now I am sitting at 36. And in order to have my entire chamber at 35, I went down one. So we'll see. Let me turn off F3. We'll see if there's any slimes down here. There were some last night, so no. I probably haven't gone far enough away. But yeah, so each one of these chambers is capable of spawning slimes. And I kind of cheated to find them, so I'm going to hit F3 and G. This turns on the debug for each chunk. So you can see as I move through here, the boundary of the chunk is appearing on the walls. So there's a website you can go to called Cubase, and one of the tools that they have is a slime chunk finder. And basically, every chunk in the game, there's a 1 in 10 chance of it being able to spawn slimes. So this gave me the coordinates of the nearest slime chunks, and I just happened to luck out that I had 2 slime chunks side by side. So I had to figure out where in my base could I build down to intersect with these. And while doing this, I encountered, What was that? I encountered a ravine. So there's all kinds of stuff underneath me right now. Let me... Yeah. So let me just mine out a little bit here. But yeah, so like there's a ravine here. And it's full of lava and all kinds of stuff. So at some point, I'm going to continue extending this down. So when I break through to the next area, which is probably going to be ground floor of the ravine, we'll probably do a video talking about and exploring this ravine. Because ultimately, like, I think I'm going to turn this into a slime farm, which is going to require a bunch of materials, but essentially it's like an automated way of harvesting slimes. So on one side, you end up putting iron golems, and that attracts the slimes to that side, and then they fall down to the ground, and you've got a killing mechanism with magma blocks. But it's probably going to take me a while to get everything to actually make that happen. So for now, we are just going to manually kill slimes whenever they show up. And that's a baby zombie that I keep hearing, which is frustrating. Okay. We don't want to go one up. But anyway, so that's the slime farm. And that's going to allow me to get the slime that I need to make my sticky pistons. And that's it. That's basically, and I wonder if while I'm down here, yep, these are now ready to be romanced again. And like, I get this is kind of morbid and disturbing that we're putting all these cattle in a single spot and they ultimately crush themselves to death. But it's also way easier to get leather and beef than any other method. So you can do this with any of the animal types. I may build a wool farm. I'm not sure if I want to actually... Like, I don't know if I need wool that much. I could use carpet, because carpet is a really useful block. And then I can come in here and grab the stack of beef. And then with this, it's way faster to cook all this up than if I'm in an oven. And I wait for it to pop. And then we run along the front and collect it all. And there are ways to do auto collectors. I just don't know if I care enough to build it. I still don't have the overwhelming amount of iron that I feel like I need to for some of these contraptions. And I realize, like, the answer to that is build an iron golem mine, but, like, I don't know if I want to do that. That seems like a big pain. Yeah, so I had, like, a good chunk of beef, and now I've already got it all on the fire. And that was way faster than throwing it in an oven. I mean, granted, in an oven, it can be unattended. But if I'm sitting in here and running this machine anyway, and every so often feeding them wheat, then I might as well be popping over here and getting free meat too. So, and I've got some more I need to migrate all the food that I have in my main area down here, and this will basically just be the kitchen. Another neat thing that you can do is I have a patch of exposed lava downstairs, and I am using it to smelt with, where you can dump a bucket into an oven and then smelt up like a stack of... Well, it'll basically do 2 stacks of potatoes. You could probably smelt a full stack of metal off of it. But there we go. And now I need to replant the field. And it's daytime out here, so... Well, it's not fully daytime yet. Well, that was unfortunate. I forgot that they could actually light you on fire. Oh, well. Okay. So we're going to run over to the village real quick and see if I can find the trader. And out here, there's also stuff that I've built. So I've got a giant sugarcane farm. And I've got a melon farm. And I haven't really harvested... Hang on, let me turn off debug mode. Because we don't need to look at every chunk as we go. But it is handy so that you know what actually makes up a chunk as you walk across. Especially if you're digging out a slime farm like I was doing. So what we'll do is we'll come up here and we'll trade, and then maybe by the time I get back, there will be... I need the farmer. It's the dude in the farm hat. I don't want to accidentally hit a villager. There we go. This dude, I think. And I should really probably... Okay, so now he will take potatoes. And we're going to trade as many potatoes as he will go. Okay, so for now, that was just 9 more emeralds. I will probably bring him more. But since I stole his food, and he hasn't seemed to be able to plant again on his own, you know what? I'm gonna be nice and plant him some potatoes, since I have plenty of potatoes. Okay. So there that will at least look better. Okay, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna go check that chunk to see if I now have slime. And I made my fire up top a signal fire, and you do that by putting a hay bale underneath the campfire, and it ends up making it just show up way further away. Like it's a really long distance before that fades out. Okay, so let me duck inside. And we'll see if any slime have showed up while I was away. I think maybe I hear something. No, I don't hear anything. Okay. I don't know why the slime aren't spawning, but there we go. Slime spawns seem to be pretty finicky. So we'll see. I spent a good chunk of yesterday harvesting them out. So maybe I have damaged the spawn rate. But I think for now, I will probably call it here. And next time, we maybe venture into... Basically, there's a bunch of things that I want to do. I want to actually establish a base in the Nether. But I also want to investigate whatever the heck is off in the distance that I see and see what that is. So there's also, let me see if I can go up top and show you what I'm talking about. So there's another thing that I really want to do, and I don't know if we'll be able to see it from here. Let me go up to the top deck and see if I can see it from there. There is something in the water. There's something glowing in the water. And as a result, I want to go off and explore in there, but I'm not really sure how to do it. Yeah, I don't know if I can see it from here. Because I think it's actually over this way. Yeah, maybe. But anyway, there's an area with glowing in the water, and I want to go explore what that is. So those are some things that I want to do long term. Um, and then honestly, I will probably continue working on this base while after hours, and largely reserve game time for either show and tell of projects or us going off on a specific adventure. Anyway, um, gonna call it here, and thank you very much. See you all next time.